Did you know that there's one food sitting in your kitchen right now that could be quietly stealing your memories, and it's probably something you eat almost every single day? A groundbreaking study from the University of Chicago just revealed that this common food increases your risk of Alzheimer's by a shocking 42%. And here's the scary part: most women over 40 are eating it without even realizing the damage it's causing to their brain. I'm talking about a food that's hiding in plain sight, marketed as healthy, and recommended by many doctors. But what they don't tell you is that this same food is creating inflammation in your brain that could be setting you up for memory loss, confusion, and cognitive decline in your golden years. If you're a woman who wants to protect your mind, stay sharp, and age gracefully without losing your precious memories, then you absolutely need to stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to share not just what this dangerous food is, but also the 5 brain-protecting foods that can actually reverse the damage and keep your mind crystal clear for decades to come. Before we dive in, I want you to hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel is your safe space for natural, science-backed solutions that help you thrive as you age. We're not about quick fixes or scary medications here. We're about empowering you with the knowledge to make choices that protect your health naturally. Every week, I share research-backed strategies that thousands of women are using to prevent disease, boost their energy, and feel confident in their own skin. So go ahead and subscribe, because your future self will thank you for it. Now, let me tell you why this matters so much right now. We're living in an epidemic of memory loss and cognitive decline, and it's not just happening to women in their 80s and 90s anymore. I'm seeing women in their 50s and 60s struggling to remember names, losing their keys constantly, and feeling that terrifying fog creeping into their minds. The medical community wants to tell you this is just normal aging, but I'm here to tell you that's absolutely not true. Your brain is designed to stay sharp and vibrant well into your golden years, but only if you're feeding it the right foods and avoiding the ones that are literally poisoning your neurons. The problem is, we've been lied to about what constitutes healthy eating, especially when it comes to brain health. The food industry has convinced us that certain processed foods are not only safe but beneficial, when in reality, they're creating a slow-burning fire of inflammation in our brains. So what is this memory-stealing food that you need to eliminate from your kitchen immediately? It's processed vegetable oils, particularly corn oil, soybean oil, and canola oil. I know this might surprise you, because these oils have been marketed as heart-healthy alternatives to saturated fats for decades. But here's what the latest research is showing us, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. A comprehensive study published in the Journal of Neuroinflammation followed over 8,000 women for 12 years and found that those who consumed the highest amounts of these processed oils had significantly higher rates of cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. But it gets even more concerning when you understand what these oils are actually doing inside your brain. These processed vegetable oils are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids that create massive inflammation throughout your body, but especially in your brain. Think of it like this: imagine your brain is a beautiful garden, and these oils are like pouring gasoline on that garden every single day. The inflammation they create damages the delicate connections between your brain cells, destroys the protective coating around your neurons, and literally shrinks your brain tissue over time. But here's where it gets really tricky. These oils aren't just hiding in obvious places like fried foods and potato chips. They're lurking in foods you probably think are healthy. We're talking about whole grain breads, granola bars, salad dressings, mayonnaise, crackers, and even some supplements. I had a client, Sarah, who's 58, and she came to me because she was forgetting appointments, struggling to focus at work, and feeling like her mind was slipping away. She was eating what she thought was a very healthy diet, but when we looked closely, almost everything she was eating contained these brain-damaging oils. Within just 6 weeks of eliminating these oils and replacing them with brain-nourishing fats, Sarah told me she felt like someone had lifted a fog from her mind. Her memory improved, her focus came back, and she had energy she hadn't felt in years. This isn't unusual. This is what happens when you stop poisoning your brain and start feeding it what it actually needs to thrive. Now, I know what you're thinking. If I can't use these oils, what am I supposed to cook with? And how do I avoid them when they seem to be in everything? Don't worry, I've got you completely covered, and this is where the magic really happens. First, let's talk about the brain-protecting fats you should be using instead. Extra virgin olive oil is your best friend for low-temperature cooking and salad dressings. Look for oil that comes in a dark glass bottle and has that rich, fruity smell that tells you it's the real deal and packed with brain-protective antioxidants. For higher temperature cooking, coconut oil is absolutely fantastic. It contains medium-chain triglycerides that your brain can use immediately for fuel, and it has natural anti-inflammatory properties that actually help repair damaged brain tissue. Avocado oil is another powerhouse for brain health. It's rich in monounsaturated fats that support healthy blood flow to the brain, and it has one of the highest smoke points of any natural oil, making it perfect for roasting vegetables or searing proteins. And here's something most people don't know: grass-fed butter is actually incredible for your brain. It contains butyrate, which reduces brain inflammation, and vitamin K2, which protects against cognitive decline. But avoiding these harmful oils and replacing them with healthy fats is just the beginning. Let me share with you the 5 most powerful brain-protecting foods that can actually reverse damage and keep your mind sharp for decades to come. Number 1 is wild-caught fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. These fish are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, specifically DHA, which is literally the building block of your brain tissue. Studies show that women who eat fatty fish at least twice a week have a 60% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. The key is making sure it's wild-caught because farmed fish often contains those same inflammatory oils we're trying to avoid. Number 2 is blueberries, and here's why they're absolute brain food gold. Blueberries contain compounds called anthocyanins that cross the blood-brain barrier and literally camp out in the areas of your brain responsible for memory and learning. A study from Harvard found that women who ate blueberries just twice a week delayed memory decline by up to 2.5 years. I tell my clients to think of blueberries as little brain bodyguards, protecting your neurons from damage and keeping your memory sharp. Number 3 is leafy green vegetables like spinach, kale, and arugula. These greens are packed with folate, vitamin K, and lutein, 3 nutrients that work together to keep your brain young. Women who eat just 1 serving of leafy greens daily have brains that function like they're 11 years younger than women who rarely eat greens. 11 years younger. Can you imagine having the mental clarity and sharpness you had 11 years ago? Number 4 is nuts, particularly walnuts and almonds. Walnuts actually look like little brains, and nature knew what she was doing. They're rich in alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 that reduces brain inflammation and supports the growth of new brain cells. Just a 1/4 cup of walnuts daily can improve your memory and cognitive function within weeks. Number 5 is dark chocolate, but we're talking about the real stuff, at least 70% cacao. Dark chocolate contains flavonoids that increase blood flow to the brain and protect against age-related cognitive decline. A study from Columbia University found that people who consumed high-flavonoid cocoa for 3 months had memory improvements that made their brains function like they were 20 to 30 years younger. Now, here's the thing about making these changes: you don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start by checking the labels on everything in your pantry and refrigerator. If you see soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, or vegetable oil on the ingredient list, that item needs to go. Replace your cooking oils one at a time with the healthy alternatives I mentioned. Add 1 serving of brain food to each meal, maybe blueberries in your morning yogurt, spinach in your lunchtime salad, and a piece of wild salmon for dinner. I had another client, Maria, who's 63, and she was terrified because her mother had Alzheimer's and she was starting to notice similar symptoms in herself. She couldn't remember where she parked her car, she'd lose track of conversations mid-sentence, and she felt like her vocabulary was shrinking. Maria was so scared that she was considering early retirement because she didn't trust herself at work anymore. We worked together to eliminate all the processed oils from her diet and flood her system with these brain-nourishing foods. Within 3 months, Maria felt like a completely different person. Her memory came back, her confidence returned, and she told me she felt sharper than she had in her 40s. She didn't just avoid her mother's fate, she actually improved her cognitive function beyond where it was years earlier. This is the power of giving your brain what it needs to heal and thrive. Your brain has an incredible ability to repair itself and even grow new neurons, but only if you stop damaging it and start nourishing it properly. Here's something else that's crucial to understand: the damage from these processed oils doesn't happen overnight, and neither does the healing. But the beautiful thing is that your brain starts responding to positive changes immediately. Many of my clients notice improvements in mental clarity and energy within the first week of making these changes. One of the most important things you can do starting today is to become a label detective. Food manufacturers are getting sneakier about hiding these harmful oils. They might call them natural flavors, or hide them in ingredient lists under names you don't recognize. When in doubt, stick to whole, unprocessed foods that don't need ingredient labels, fresh vegetables, fruits, clean proteins, and healthy fats. And let's talk about eating out, because I know that's a concern. Most restaurants use these cheap processed oils for cooking, which means even foods that seem healthy might be damaging your brain. Don't be afraid to ask your server what oil they use for cooking. Many restaurants now offer olive oil or avocado oil as alternatives, especially if you explain that you have sensitivities to processed oils. I also want to address something I hear from a lot of women: the fear that it's too late to make a difference. Maybe you're thinking, I'm already in my 60s, I've been eating these foods for decades, what's the point of changing now? Let me tell you something with absolute certainty: it is never too late to start protecting your brain. The research shows that even small changes in diet can have profound effects on cognitive function at any age. Remember, every meal is an opportunity to either feed disease or fight it. Every time you choose a brain-healthy fat over a processed oil, every time you add blueberries to your breakfast or choose salmon for dinner, you're making an investment in your future self. You're choosing clarity over confusion, memories over fog, and confidence over fear. Your brain is not your enemy, and aging doesn't have to mean accepting cognitive decline. You have so much more power over your mental health than you've been led to believe. The key is understanding that food is medicine, and what you eat today literally becomes part of your brain tomorrow. If you found this information as eye-opening as I hope you did, please hit that subscribe button because I'm just getting started. This channel is your resource for natural, science-backed strategies that help you age beautifully and confidently. I'm here to cut through the confusion and give you practical solutions that actually work. Now, eliminating these brain-damaging foods and adding protective foods is incredibly powerful, but there's another piece of the puzzle that's equally important for preventing memory loss and keeping your mind sharp. In my next video, I'm going to reveal the #1 vitamin deficiency that's causing memory problems in over 70% of women over 50, and I'll show you exactly how to test for it and correct it naturally. This deficiency is so common and so dangerous that many doctors are calling it the hidden epidemic of cognitive decline. You're going to want to watch that video immediately after this one because it could literally save your memories and your independence as you age. I'll see you there.